with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. Well, we did an episode not too long ago about who we should re-sign of our own free agents. And today, we're going back to the classroom and back to the whiteboard. And today, boys and girls, we are going to take a look at the salary cap. And we're calling this, who could be our cap casualties and how much money can we save? Before we get in that, we need to do a quick breakdown of what our current cap situation is. Now, everyone knows last year, we were some 30-some million in dead cap space, which was at the time a league record. Hopefully someone will break that record this year. I doubt it. So let's take a look at where we're sitting this year. This year, we're actually not too bad. Our dead cap space is only about $4 million. And a lot of that $4 million, I believe $3.5 million of that is the Janoris Jenkins contract. From when we waived him. He's got a $2 million signing bonus and $1.5 million restricted bonus coming up next year. So we are going to be on the hook for that. And believe it or not, we're still paying Kyle Lilletta $353,000. So, and everything else is just kind of sporadic here and there. So it's nothing that terrible. So if you take over the dead cap space, the rollover for 19, which is a $1.5 million. You take a look at the total adjusted salary cap is over $200 million. We're looking at an estimated cap space of like maybe $69.5 million, which is fantastic. But I bet you and I can sit there and figure out a way to almost get a quarter more into that situation. If we just take a look at the roster and see who we could potentially cut. Now, the first one everyone looks at is going to be Nate Solder. The only problem with Nate Solder is you're cutting your left tackle. Yeah, he had 2 bad years, or not so good years. But for year 1, I kind of cut him a break because he had Will Hernandez next to him. So it's kind of hard to, to have play alongside a rookie all year long. But then you go into year 2, and you know what? The improvement wasn't there. Even Hernandez took a step back. So if we take a look at Nate has a $19.5 million cap hit this year. Now, the only thing is his dead cap space money, we're looking at $13 million. So while there is a $6.5 million savings, and he is responsible for about 9.5% of our total cap space, is it worth cutting our left tackle? And again, a left tackle in this league is hard to find. Even a bad one is hard to find. I'm personally thinking that we should cut Nate, or at least try to restructure his contract, but I think outright releasing him is probably the way to go, because like I said, we are going to save $6.5 million. I mean, we are going to get a $6.5 million savings, even though we are going to incur a $13 million dead cap space hit. Now, the only problem is Kevin Zeidler is also looking at a $12 million cap hit. And with only a dead cap space of $5 million, so you're looking at almost $7 million right there. But the problem is, I can't cut my left tackle and I can't cut my guard. I can't cut almost half my line. So I am willing to give up Nate for the $6 million savings, and there's going to be more savings going over the following years because of the length of his contract. So I'm thinking we cut Nate and save that $7 million. Now, if we take a look next, it's going to be our buddy and your buddy, Alex Ogletree. Now, Alex Ogletree has a cap hit of $11.75 million. Now, the interesting thing about his contract is he's only got a $3.5 million dead cap space. Now, $1.7 million of that is a restricted bonus. So there's a lot of things that they can do with his contract. They can actually rework that contract and still bring him back and save him. But I'm saying we chop him, because if we get rid of Alex, we're looking at an 8.5. While we're looking at the $3.5 million in dead cap space, we are looking at a savings of $8.25 million. I mean, that's nothing to sneeze about. Now, I like Alex, but you know what? And he has a nose for the ball, but his coverage skills are just not there. And it's bad enough that all of our other inside linebackers, none of them can cover. neither can Mayo. So we really, I think with that savings, we could probably revamp the position. Now, I was doing a little bit of a deeper dive into the cap space itself, and one of the things I found interesting was RHETT Ellison. RHETT, who is a fantastic blocking tight end, but the tight end situation right now, with Smith and potentially Ingram coming back, hopefully healthy, do we need a $7.18 million cap hit for a blocking tight end, an H-back? And he came in because of Shermer, the whole Shermer offense thing. But the interesting thing about his contract is only $2.1 million of that is going to be in dead cap space. And that's breaking down from a restricted bonus, a workout bonus, and a couple other things. So if we take a look at that, just cutting RHETT, we're saving $5 million. Now, my thing is, we could find a tight end that blocks on the open market. We could also find a tight end that can catch the ball in the open market. I mean, Eric Ebron just got released from the Colts. He had a good season 2 years ago, and I believe he had 14 touchdown receptions. But of course, that was Oliver Luck's last season. So when Jacoby Brissett is your quarterback, you're not getting Luck. I mean, come on. I could see a serendipitous drop in his stats. But you know what? He is someone who's still young. I believe he's 27. He's athletic. And he's really something that could bring something to the table for the Giants. And I bet we can get him pretty much on the cheap. On the cheap, I would say probably a $4 million contract. But so, you know what? To me, saving that $5 million, getting rid of Mr. Ellison, is really going to be a cost savings effect for us. So as we're taking a look at this right now, we're closing in on almost another $20 million in cap savings. Now, also just going briefly through the roster, I was taking a look and, KAREEM Martin, outside linebacker, barely played. He's got a $5.9 million cap hit. Well, you know what? The best part is his dead cap space money is only $1.1 million. So we're saving $4.7 million by cutting him. And you know what? He's not going to be missed. We need a total revamp, and everybody knows it. We need a total revamp of the outside and inside linebackers. Hopefully Ryan Connolly comes back. But again, my only problem with Ryan Connolly is he did get injured, and he's also injury. He's not injury prone, but he's also played in the same system at Wisconsin that he played for Betcher. So the reason why he played so well is he was very familiar with the system. So that's neither here nor there. Now, I have been hearing everyone talk about saying that, we need to cut Evan Ingram. We need to either trade him or cut him. Here's the problem with trading and cutting Evan Ingram. Evan Ingram has got a cap hit of $3.4 million next year. The only problem is his dead cap space, is another $3.14 million. So he's if we cut him, we're cutting him for his entire salary. And I think we need to give him at least one more season to either prove it or not prove it, and kind of go from there. Now, one of the other interesting players people always talk about is Antonio Bethea. Antonio has only a $2.8 million cap hit for next year. And if we do cut him, we're only responsible for $125,000. You know what? I don't want to cut him just yet till I figure out exactly what our defensive backfield is going to look like. But if we did cut him, we're saving almost $2.7 million. So we're gonna put that in our back pocket and see where we're at with that. Now, if we do a total breakdown of cutting Nate, cutting Alex, cutting RHETT, and cutting Martin, we are actually saving $24.5 million, which is great and all, but the only problem is we're also incurring a dead cap space of 19.8. Now, I don't have too big of a problem with that because, like I said, we will be able to work back onto that. Because like I said, we are going to be saving another $24 million. If you do a breakdown of, like I said, we were saving. I mean, like I said, our estimated cap space was almost $69.47 million. So if you think about that, we would have potentially $94.4 million in cap space next year just by making 4 moves. This guy, letting go Nate, letting go Ogletree, letting go Ellison, and letting go Martin. And then we can also keep Antonio Bethea on the back burner. And like I said, we could also potentially restructure Kevin Zeiler's contract as well. So looking at our cap space situation, just cutting those 4 players, adding $24 million almost to the $70 million we have now, $94 million in cap space. That's to me, that to me is crazy. And you know what? But you know what? It's the question of the day is going to be, can Dave Gettleman do something with that money? Are we going to be an attractive destination? Our roster is not bare of talent, but we are also, we've also had a couple bad seasons in a row now. So we just need to kind of figure out where we're at, where we're going to be. And hopefully, like I said, with that type of money, even with the $70 million that we have, if we can get it up to 94, we can really turn around the situation, and we could really, revamp the defense and hopefully fix some holes on the offensive line. But like I said, I can't get rid of Nate, I can't get rid of Zeiler, and I can't get rid of Remmers all at the same season. You're giving up almost, you're giving up 2/3 of your offensive line. So, like I said, I have no problem with subtracting Nate, keeping Zeiler and Remmers, and kind of going from there and seeing where we are in the draft and seeing where we can pick up in free agency. But like I said, 94-point-something million in cap space just by making those 4 moves. And I also had a lot of people say, well, what about Golden Tate? Well, Golden Tate's got a cap hit of 10.5. He's got dead space money because it would only be the second year of the contract of 7.5. So, we're saving $3 million, but I think a $3 million savings, you're not going to find a receiver of his talent and his pedigree for $3 million. It's just my personal opinion. But like I said, if we have no problem incurring the $19 million in dead cap space, we will receive the $24.5 million in savings. Added that to our $69 million, and like I said, I think that we can be sitting pretty this year. Our next episode is going to also be coming up. It's going to be free agent signings, who the Giants should potentially lock on to. Now, the only problem is, like I said, with these types of videos at this point in time is we do not have a coach. We do not have a coaching staff. We do not have a coaching philosophy. So once we do that, once we get someone in place, we'll have a better understanding of what the philosophy can be, and we will kind of go from there. But we are going to still plug on through of who we think the Giants should go after in free agency. Again, this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment, and thanks for listening.